Okay, hey, I'm just doing this little video. It's on the rhythm part for the song Dreams or Dreams I'll Never See was the original title by the Allman Brothers. Cool track. The Allman Brothers did it in 3/4 time. Molly Hatchet did it in 4/4 time. Same chord progressions, totally different feel to the song. Both versions really cool. Uh, but I'm working on this with a couple guys and trying to do a little Molly Hatchet project. And one of them was struggling a little bit with the rhythm part that goes through the whole song. So I wanted to just show it here because I think the songster part might not be quite right. Where people and there's not really published sheet music for the Molly Hatchet version. Formally, officially published sheet music. They didn't really publish sheet music of their cover songs. So you can find some stuff. Songster's a pretty good source, I think, for the solos, as I recall. I think I may have looked at those, and then anything that wasn't right, that I heard, I fixed in how I played it. And I don't recall if there were errors because it's been quite a while since I learned that song. But so I was looking at the rhythm parts, and I'm not sure Songster's right on this. And I also looked at I had a tab from an eBay CD for this as well, but I bought that. I bought that after I had learned this song, so I never really looked at that one too close. So I pulled that up, and they had different parts going between a couple of the guitars, and that may be in fact what happened. I don't know if they had the stems to be able to separate those guitars or not. But here's the most dominant part, and if you just listen to the song, this is what I hear. And so that's how I'm going to teach it, because if you're playing this rhythm part, this needs to be how those percussive hits go and things. So anyway, it's a lot of talk, but so let me just start by saying the basic chord progression here is working off some double stops. So the first one is at the 5th and 4th string at the 5th fret. 5th fret, 5th and 4th string. A string, D string. And that's implying a G chord. And I say it's implying it because when you have two notes, you don't have a chord. In music theory, you need three notes to have a chord. Even though we call that we can do two notes and have a power chord, they call it. It's technically not a chord because it doesn't have major or minor tonality, which is why it's a power chord and why they're so helpful on guitar, but because you can play them with major or minor tonality, right? I digress. That double stop, however, is implying a G chord. The next double stop. Now here I'm playing it with my index finger. When I play this, I want to talk about the fingering. I play that with these two fingers, middle and ring, like this. Middle on the 5th string, ring on the 4th string. And the reason I do that is I'm going to pick up my ring finger, I'm going to put my index finger down at the 4th fret of the D string to get the second double stop. Now I'm like that. Okay, and that is implying a D chord. And how do I know that? Well, if you looked at the caged chord of a D in the C form, right? So it looks like a C form, and I'm barring up here. It's a big fat D chord. Same as that. All right, so you're going from a G chord on the first double stop to a D chord, and you're sliding that down 2 frets, still the same 5th and 4th string, but you're at the 3rd and 2nd now with those two notes. 5th string 3rd fret, 4th string 2nd fret, and I'm fingering it with my middle and my index. So now, why am I fingering it that way? Because you're going to get all this percussive stuff going with your right hand, and you want this to be simple where you're basically just moving one finger and coming off those chords, doing this. Here I'm putting all three down. Here I've got my ring finger picked up. Because you want small movements, right? You don't want to be doing this. to be doing this. I bet in this video it's even hard to see what my left hand's really doing, right? But I have all three of these fingers down, these two on the 5th fret and this one on the 4th fret. And then I just pick up or don't my ring finger. I'm exaggerating the movement here. I don't lift it that high. It's okay. That's when you get into the rhythm part. Okay, so let's just talk about the intro. So the intro goes click, click. So it goes 1, 2, 3, click, click. I'm palm muting on all of this, by the way. But it's just enough palm mute to deaden those a little. So normally I'd also be up on the neck pickup, probably with my tone rolled back. I'm going to leave my tone up a little, pretty much open, because I want the percussive stuff to have a little treble in it here for the recording. But when I'm playing this with a loud amp, I would probably roll back my tone maybe to 5 or even 3. You want it pretty versus or you don't really want it that brittle. It's a warm, fat kind of tone. Okay, let's get into it here. So it starts out and it goes 1, 2, 3, click, click. 1, 2, 3, click, click. 1, 2, 3, click, click. Click, click. 1, 2, 3, and then it hits that note again on the last and. So if you were counting it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, it's 1, 2, 3, rest and. Whoops. 2, 3, rest and. And the reason you do that is the leading note into the rhythm phrase, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, click, click. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Whoops. 4 and. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. And you're headed into that. So you're going from that to this. But so that's the first part of the intro. The second part of the intro is where it picks up the main rhythm, and this pretty much runs through the song. I mean, it's on the verse, it's on the chorus, it's going on behind solos and stuff. So if you're playing this rhythm part, you want to get to where you can sustain this rhythm, for minutes at a time without any flaws, and you're getting the percussive parts in the right spot. Okay. So I'll try to put some graphic tab up on the screen for this. So the intro though, and again, we're just in the intro, we're just working between two doubles in this rhythm part. We're working between implying 2 chords, a G and a D. So it's going from, it's just going back and forth between G and D. It's a 2-measure phrase, and then it repeats. Okay. And it starts on the G double stop, and it goes to the D double stop, and it's just going to go back and forth between G and G. Now, if I have this, I'll try and put the graphic up here. I just want to play the notes, not the percussive muted open strings where you're picking up and deadening the strings. Those, I'm going to leave those out for a second and just play the notes so you hear what we're punching. We're punching. And I would practice that if you're just starting to learn this rhythm. I'd set a metronome to maybe, let's do 80 beats a minute. I'd look at my fingering on my left hand. And why am I doing this? I want to get the left hand part working first. and then worry about the right hand part. Now, there is a tendency with this rhythm to go, yeah, that's really easy, I got it, go. And then you get into a playing environment and you can't do it at full tempo with consistency. These double stops, when you start trying to get those clicks, by the way, it's weird feeling if you haven't done this before to be going across two strings and trying to get the percussive. Your pick wants to hang up, and you got to get the feel of pushing through two strings instead of one. If you're just doing it on one and going, it's pretty easy, and you can speed that up and get it. When you go to two, it's a whole different feel for your right hand, and it takes some time to develop that ability to pick through and get your pick not catching and hanging up, because your hand's not used to making that motion for most people when you pick this up. So, don't get lulled into the lackadaisical, oh, that's easy, I got it. You got to spend some time working it with a metronome slow and work it up and really listen for, am I getting this percussive part right? Because this is a rhythm part. It's about the rhythm, which means it's also about having those percussive, the notes sounding and then the percussive clicks in between. It's a rhythm part, okay? So people underestimate the time they need to spend to develop good tight rhythm, and they think, oh, this is a really simple lick, I'll just, and then they get in there and it's like, and they're hanging up and they're getting the wrong notes and coming. Okay, so the other thing I want to highlight about this is it really helps to pay attention when you're fingering this. You want your middle finger here that's on the 5th string to also touch the 6th string, so it deadens it. And that way, if you catch that upper string by accident, you're going to try to stay just on the 4th and 5th strings, but if you catch that, you want it deadened. Similarly, you got your index finger on the 4th fret. You want that to kind of touch the 3rd string and deaden it, okay? So you're trying to deaden the 6th and 3rd string and then work on the 5th and 4th string, okay? And if you can get that feel, and it's a subtle thing, where that's dead and that's dead. Okay, now that makes it easier to really. Okay, so I want to go back here for a second now. I just want to punch the notes first. So 80 beats a second. Let's go up a little bit more. Let's go like 92. The other thing you can do is sort of get the feel of where to slide your hand along here, because I'm palm muting at the bridge, right? But you want just the right amount of palm muting to go, not that, but more that, but not that. You want them ringing, but with just a hint of palm mute on there. Go a little bit faster. Let's go to 100. Again, we're just going to punch the notes that are sounding. And we're trying to get the mechanics down, right? We want to get the right kind of palm muting, and we want to get the right notes, and we want to avoid this, and we want to get the feel of just playing those two strings. And we want to get this in our brain. Because full tempo is 108. Let's go up to 108 and do it a little there. Rhythm guitar is about being at the right place in time with your notes, right? So you kind of want to sit and just play these things until your brains are falling out of your ears and you're getting bored with it, right? All right, so now I'm going to slow this back down to, let's go to about 72. I really want to slow it down here. Excuse me. A little hay fever from mowing the lawn. All right. Now we're going to put this, actually, let me stop that for a second. So we're going to put the percussive stuff in here now. Now we're thinking more about our right hand and when to pick up and put down with your left hand. Okay, so I want you to notice something about this. All the percussive sections in each measure, they're either twos, down up, or they're fours. 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? All of them. There's no threes, there's no fives. It's all twos and fours, okay? Where they're percussive. Okay, so it's 1. So it's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1. Change the chord. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay, so. See, now I was catching some other strings there. All right, it's hard. When you start out slow, it feels really weird, but you want to start slow because you really want to get the feel of pushing through those double strings. You might even sit here and just do some of that. Just sit here going like that, up and down. Pushing, trying to push from all the way, like from the 6th string on the inside down through to the 4th, to the 3rd string on the inside. So, whoops, all the way to. And sit here doing some of that just to get that feel. It's a real weird feeling, especially when you speed it up until you get the hang of it. Once you get the hang of it, piece of cake. But it takes a while. So, okay. Look, I'm making this a long lesson for a reason. All these little details come into making it sound good. But the rhythm is important in this. Really important. This simple little 2-bar phrase, seemingly simple, is fundamental to the song. It drives what's happening in the song. It's the whole feel. It's the hypnotic. It's the thing in the song that makes it hypnotic. Okay? And makes it like a dream. Okay? So it's related. So that's why I'm paying so much attention to this on the rhythm, seemingly simple rhythm part. Okay, but you want to get those percussive parts right. So it's 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1. That's the first measure. Then the second measure is 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1. That's the second measure. And it's back to the first. Let's do it with the metronome. Now you could hear it there. So now let's do it with a metronome. I go just a little faster. Let's do so there's enough of a feel there to have kind of. If you get going too slow, it's hard to feel the rhythm. This is 80. That's pretty slow. It's a good place to start. You should work on it at 80 until you really. I mean, you should probably spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes just sitting going. do about a minute of that for you right here. Okay, that's about a minute. So, metronome gets annoying after a while, doesn't it? But you get used to it. So as you're sitting there doing that, you can kind of think about some different things. Obviously, you want to be thinking, am I right on the clicks, right with the time? Working on your rhythm. You want to be paying attention to that tone. Do I have it palm muted right? Am I getting the notes to ring, but not wide open? Not wide open. It's got a little fret buzz there. I need to do a little setup here. A little rattle. So you want them to ring, but kind of slightly deadened, palm muted. So you're listening to the tone, and you're listening, am I really getting these? Am I getting this rhythm right? Is it? Is it 2s and 4s on all your percussives? And getting the punching of the notes in the right place. If you just look at one measure, what you notice is you have a note, you have an 8th note, and then you have 2 16th notes on the clicks, right? And then that goes again. And on the next sort of triple note there, you have the 2 16th notes first, right? Because you're basically taking that beat and pushing on the second 2, you're pushing the beat to the end of that little phrase, going from to. You're just moving where that note hits on 2 of them, right? But when you string it together and you change the chords, you get. So when you see that and you get it in your brain and understand it, now you go, oh, okay, you kind of get the feel of where that note goes. Okay, so, I just want to do some practice for about a minute apiece at a couple different tempos here for you. So let's bump that up to about 92 and do maybe a minute here, okay? And I'm going to do the leading note in like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, So at the beginning I said, hey, I'm going to play the leading note in. And if you don't know what I meant at the beginning of the song we had... Right? There's that one little going from the D to the G where the measure starts on the G. So you're on the and. Remember we talked about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, and. And on the and you had the... And then you're into the... So that's what I was talking about. Just entering the phrase, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's about a minute at 92. Let's just keep speeding this up. Let's do about 100. Do about a minute at 100. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're just going to keep right on going now. We're going to bump that up to 108, which is full tempo. And let's see if you can play along with that and get it right and get your pick moving across the two strings and get the palm muting and get the notes in the right spot. A lot going on for such a simple little 2-bar phrase, right? Lots of little things to think about that make it sound right. See if I can do this for about a minute for you and get it on the right beat with the click. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. That's about a minute, I think. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about, now that you have that rhythm going at full tempo, when you go to the chorus, one guitar... Okay, so that goes on in the intro 8 times. It goes around that 2-bar phrase 8 times in the intro. Then it goes to the verse, okay, and it goes around that phrase, same phrase. Okay, it does that 4 times in the verse. Then it goes to the chorus where it starts saying, I've got dreams, I got my dreams, right? And it stays on that same phrase with one guitar. Kind of the main guy, whoever the main guy is that's going to do that. Whoever's going to do that behind the solos and stuff needs to get really tight on it, right? And they're going to stay right on that phrase. So they're playing that phrase almost the whole song until you start doing chords. So they're going to do it behind the verse for 4, and then they're going to do it behind the chorus for 4. But you'll also hear that when you hit that chorus phrase where you start singing, I got dreams, I got my dreams, Another guitar's going up here and playing the G and D chords up here. The rhythm is the same. It's now in this case, you want your fingertip touching your 5th string, your A string, and muting it. You're playing 3 strings, 4, 3, and 2. And when you go to the D chord, it's D. That's a G chord. Whoops. That's a G chord, sorry. That's the D chord. This is the G chord. Okay, so you're going from the G to the D, so you're starting in... so you guys, I'll put the tab up on the screen here so you can see it, but you're on the 4th string at the 9th fret. You're barring across these 3 at the 7th fret. Across 4, 3, 2. All at the 7th fret. And then your ring finger is on the 9th fret. And 8th fret is barred. The 7th fret is barred for the middle note. And then at the 8th fret, your middle finger is on the 2nd string. That's the G chord. And when you pick those 2 fingers up, that's the D chord, right? A, B, C, D. Okay, so it's the same rhythm with your right hand that you did on the other phrase. So it's... But now you're strumming across 3 strings here and trying to get that going with your strumming. So you want to try to mute the 5th. And if you get just the right feel with your bar finger, you can mute the high E string too. So you're just getting the middle, guys. So let's do a little bit of that at some different speeds. Working on rhythm, you really want to move up and down your metronome and practice at different speeds. And that, because you can really get stuck in at one tempo on something and only be able to play it there. And then you get a drummer that plays it slower or faster, and all of a sudden you can't play it and keep the rhythm, right? So when you're practicing the songs, it's really good to practice at a bunch of different tempos, up and down, and even above the top speed of the song if you can play it faster. I try to practice songs when I start learning them, I'm way down at like 2/3 of full speed, maybe 65, 66% to start, and I'll practice complex pieces at 1% speed increments all the way up to full speed. But as I really get them and I'm preparing to practice to perform, if I can, unless it's something really fast that I just can't get there, where I'm really hitting my limit just to play it at tempo, I try to practice up to 10 or 15% beyond top speed as well. So if you get a fast drummer who gets overexcited when you start soloing, your solo doesn't fall apart. Okay, anyway, this is that other phrase for the chorus. We're going to do this at 80 beats a minute. I'll do that, and we're going to notch up through a few pieces here. Sorry, I should count it in for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, slow. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... I think I was speeding up there and getting off the beat. Okay, so that's why you want to practice at different tempos. I'm going to keep going here. So if you didn't line up or you didn't sound like it's quite right, it's because I don't think it was. All right, I'm going to speed this up a little more. Let's do 92. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, you got metronomes, you can do it. I'm not going to do the longer sessions here. Here's 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, here's full speed, 108. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so, you want to practice that. It would not, if you're going to play the main rhythm part, it would not be wrong for you to sit and spend an hour or an hour and a half just working on this 2-bar phrase and getting the rhythm where you can play this part at a whole bunch of different tempos and be locked right into it, because you got to sustain this for, like, I don't know, how long is this song? Like 6 minutes long or something? I don't know. I'm going to look. I'm going to try to look. It is 7 minutes and 8 seconds long. Yeah, so you got to sustain this more or less. I mean, there's some parts where you're going off the chord, but if you're the rhythm guy on this, the main rhythm guy, you got to sustain this for 7 minutes. So spending an hour working on it, really, and then you're going to practice it, right, with your drummer and your bass player and your band, and if you're going to perform it, right? If you're going with the track, then you're just playing at home, play it against the track. Okay, that's the lesson on Dreams, the rhythm part. Good luck.